Hello, welcome to a Colorguard Rifle taping tutorial. As you are taping your rifle, you will notice that electrical tape is fairly stretchy. You need to think of, as you are going through and you are taping, to maintain a little bit of tension on this tape as you pull it so that you can get a nice even flat finish as you tape the gun. Next, we're going to go ahead, I'm going to get my tip taped and my butt taped. When you do this, you're going to think about taking a strap over the top of the butt, and then you will candy cane down the rest. Similar thing, up top here, you're going to think about making a star shape with it. So you're going to take a strap of tape, go over the top, go over the top, over the corners, and then you will tape down to the bottom of where you've placed your strapping tape. We are going to attach the bolt back to the rifle once we have it all nice and taped. So what you're going to do is you're going to take it, you're going to get it lined up with where the screw holes are underneath. It should just slot right in. You're going to take the screws that came with it and you're going to screw it right on in. If you have a rifle that's older and maybe has a screw stuck inside of the gun, or the little bits and parts of it have broken off, or you're just missing a screw, what you should do is, if you have a bolt that doesn't have screws, you'll take it, and normally what we do is we take either black or white tape. In this instance, I'm going to use some white tape, and you are going to tape around where the screws would go, and then afterwards you'll go and you'll back fix it with whatever color you didn't use on the receiving part so that it still looks normal. Cool. Once you've gotten all of the strapping tape on your gun, we're going to start taping the actual gun. What you're going to use is you're going to use your white electrical tape, and you are going to, what we call candy cane, the tape around. We're going to start with this middle section, the neck and the bolt area first. Our next order of business is the strap. Now, when you get a rifle, specifically most times when you get a King rifle, it will come with the large amount of screws up towards the nose. I personally, with my programs, we switch it around so that this is by the butt, and that is the way I'm going to teach it today. That way your little nubbing guys are always consistently in the same place when you're tossing. When you go to put these on, you want to make sure that the screw part is towards the outside, the shiny side of the strap, and that the little circular part is towards the inside. What you're going to do is you're going to take a couple layers of black tape and you're going to wrap around that so you don't lose them, because they have a tendency of coming loose. Once you have the strap done, we are almost done taping our gun. All that is left is to take some white electrical tape, and once more we are going to tape over this section of the gun and the butt of the gun where we see the metal hardware. We're going to cover that up so that it can stay protected and stay nice and cool. So that is my tip, all nice and done. You just basically repeat the exact same process on the butt. You do it about 2 strips wide. Cool. I've got my tip, I've got this part of my strap done, and the butt. Next, you have to think about your middle neck area. This is the most finagling area when doing strapping tape. I personally like to do a strip around here, and then I do 2 lengthwise strips down each side of the gun, because this is a major weak point right along in here for most guns, so it gives it a little bit of extra strength, and then I do strapping tape all around the rest of it. Cool. Once you have your rifle nice and screwed on to your gun, you're going to want to take a tiny little piece of black electrical tape, and you're just going to go boop right over top of that screw so that it is nice and protected and doesn't get scuffed and stuff. And that is your fully taped Colorguard rifle ready for use. Some tips and tricks for maintenance as time goes on. Oftentimes when you need to retape things, it's easiest to just do the tip and the butt, as those are the things that get the most wear and tear. This oftentimes you don't need to retape nearly as much. Same thing with the swivel. When you need to retighten your strap, because of how we have done it, you can then take it from down here. That way, whenever you go to toss or do anything, you have this little nubbin that's already perfectly placed in the right spot, ready for tossing it. First things first, strapping tape. This is the base layer of tape that you put on a gun to help ensure that the wood stays together as it gets beaten and battered and used and abused. You oftentimes will see it put on the tip, this middle section, and on the butt. And for most people, you will also see them put it here where one of the connection points for the strap is. These are all high stress points on the rifle, so we need to use this to help protect it and keep it nice and strong. First things first, you are going to put some on the very tip of the gun. There are many ways that you can do this. I just kind of like to put it on and then cut some slits into the edges and then fold it down over itself. Just like that. And then I'll take and I'll do a strip over here and then maybe one a little bit further down. The next part is an optional part. It is what we have the kids at my program do and several other programs to ensure that the bolts stay together as well as possible. So whether you have a black bolt or a silver bolt or a white bolt or whatever, at my program, we take black tape and we will candy cane around the entire bolt just to help protect it and keep it safe from scuffs and breakages. Items needed to tape a gun: a strap, screwdriver, screws for the bolt, screws for the strap, black electrical tape, white electrical tape, strapping tape. That is packing tape that has fibrous white materials running through it that makes it stronger, and a bolt. Cool. Once you have your strap prepped with those on, I personally like to take the little screw that you're about to put into the strap, and I like to poke a little guide hole beforehand. It's kind of hard sometimes to see where it was once you've got everything taped, but there's normally like a little dark spot or a little divot where it's really easy, and you can just find it. You see how I have like a little dark spot? And you can just kind of stick it in there just so that you have a little guide hole when you go to put the strap on. I'm going to do butt first. So I'm going to take, again, the mini hold side of the strap. You're going to do shiny side out, or in this case, label side out. This is a King rifle. And you're going to go and you're going to put the little swivel guy and you'll reattach it. And you'll do that on both sides until you have a nice taut strap that is just tight enough that you're able to squish it down to the gun when you hold it, and when you do a drop spin, it's not